How's it going, everybody? So, in this video, first I'm going to be answering some questions I've recently got from a couple of my subscribers regarding ginseng dosage, as well as the brand that I recommend and how to kind of like consume it in a tonic elixir the way that I do. Then I'm going to kind of go into what my routine is looking like now in regards to my tonic herbs and whatnot. Did add some stuff, some new stuff, but also kind of optimizing what I was already doing and what I have been doing. Going on 4 months now, is it? Something like that. So we'll get into that in a bit. Okay. First things first, okay. I got a question from one of my subscribers. First one was, what is a good brand, a reputable brand for ginseng? Okay, so this is a very important topic, all right? There are a lot of fake ginseng products floating around the market, and most consumers who are, first getting into this kind of stuff, usually first-time ginseng buyers, they don't have a clue about the first kind of thing to consider in regards to where to start buying it, right? They don't know the difference between an extract and an extract in a pure powder form. They don't know about ginsenosides and standardization ratios. They don't know about none of that, okay? All they know is, they've heard that ginseng is good for energy and this and that. And so they'll just buy whatever the cheapest crap is off like Amazon or something. And 9 times out of 10, the top selling brand on Amazon is usually fake, or it's like not potent whatsoever. Maybe 50% of the capsule or whatever is like filled with rice, rice powder. You have no idea what the hell you're buying, okay? So here's a first principle when buying ginseng and when first starting out. Okay, so extracts, standardized extracts are very powerful and generally the most commonly used in the research and studies that you'll find usually around something like 18 milligrams of ginsenosides per serving is generally the kind of norm for potent ginseng products. Extracts are good. The problem with extracts is when you first start buying ginseng, it's very easy to buy a fake product because you don't know how ginseng's supposed to feel. So, I recommend buying raw powder when you first start out. As long as you take enough raw powder, raw ginseng powder is powerful enough. Like, you don't need to get an extract to feel good ginseng. I thought it was funny, and a lot of other people did too. Someone had asked on one of my videos about ginseng. They're like, all right, about how many weeks does it take before you start feeling effects from a good quality ginseng product? I've been taking ginseng for like 2 weeks, and I still not noticing a benefit, but I know it's going to take another month or something to feel something. And I replied, within 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes. Within 2 hours maximum. If you don't feel something from your ginseng product, you bought some bullshit fake ginseng, boy. Boy? You bought bullshit ginseng if you didn't feel nothing within two hours, okay? Or you didn't prepare it properly or whatever. So raw powder is important because if you even better, buy an actual root and then just chop it up, put it in a fucking coffee grinder and obliterate that damn powder into fine dust, okay? Grind your own kind of ginseng root yourself, because if you get a root, most manufacturers, they're not going to sell you a fake ginseng root. If you buy a root, 9 times it's probably going to be ginseng, right? So that's the first thing. Now, how many years old is that ginseng root? That can be something that they could kind of skimp you on. But when you first start buying, just make sure the manufacturer says 6-year-old ginseng root, whatever. and be sure that it's a red Panax ginseng root or whatever you're trying to buy, American ginseng, okay? And that's another story we'll get into another time. But in order to know what type of ginseng it is, whether it's American or red Panax, you should be able to notice by the taste, but also by its appearance. Red Panax ginseng from the products that I've gotten that have been legit, it's going to be a little bit darker. And it does tend to have a red hue, even though that's not why they call it red ginseng, but generally I have noticed it has like a darker kind of red hue. American ginseng is lighter in color. It's like a lighter beige, like yellowish, right? Or whitish, yellow, yeah, yellowish. Anyway, so get the powder, and ginseng good products will have a really good distinct taste. You'll know the taste when you taste it, and you'll know the feel when you feel it, right? All the benefits I've talked about before, like I talked about my first time taking red Panax ginseng, and I was a freaking idiot. Like I took a whole teaspoon, and and it was the first time taking it, and I was going to like my history class or something. I was sitting in my class, and normally I'm like on point, everything's cool, I'm answering all the questions, and I'm loving it. This time I'm like shaking, and my brain's going all over the place, like what, George Washington and this and that, and like blah blah blah, like, you know, going all over the place. And I was just like sweating, and I was like, I was too freaking cracked out. But anyway, like, yeah, you should feel some shit when you take it, and be careful not to take too much your first time. You got to ease into it. I could take a whole teaspoon now, and I'm not that bad, right? But I tend to stick to about a half a teaspoon if I'm taking the raw powder. But anyway, that's so yeah. If you're going to get an extract, so I'm going to name some brands in a bit, but you just want to make sure it's an established brand that's been around a long time, and the extract has to list the percentage of ginsenosides as well as the milligrams. And, you know, if it has third-party testing, even better. Well, it's not always legitimate. But, so the ginseng products that I've taken. So let's start with what brand I've been recommending for a while. Like, it's interesting to me. Like, sometimes I wonder if people even watch the videos that they're commenting on. Because I almost always mention the brand, but thanks to TikTok, people can only handle about 20 seconds of content in one given stretch before moving on to the next cat video. So, or tentacle violation video, or whatever weird shit y'all watch on TikTok. Is that only me? Nah, I'm just playing. Where was I going with that? Yeah. So, Wisconsin LLC. That's the brand that I generally recommend. So they're a family-owned farm, okay, ginseng farm, family-owned ginseng farm in Wisconsin, out of all places, right? Right, Wisconsin LLC is a brand name, and they specialize in American ginseng, but they also do sell red Panax ginseng, which is Asian ginseng for those who don't know. That's a brand I recommend. And the American ginseng is great. I recommend the raw powder from them. Like every time I've ordered from them, and I've been ordering from them for over a year now. It's been a year and a couple months now, since like May or April of 2000, maybe March of 2022. I've been ordering, so it's like a year and a couple months, yeah. So, every single batch I've gotten from them is the exact same. It's like the same color, same taste, same effects. It's the most consistent product that I've gotten from anyone, ever. So, yeah. So I definitely recommend the raw powder from Wisconsin LLC. Now the thing is with raw powders, okay, there's a couple things you have to understand. The first thing is, traditionally raw ginseng, you'd slice up the roots, and then you kind of boil and simmer it in a concoction for, hours and hours. So if you ever have, like slow cooked a damn like beef roast or something like that, or made bone broth, right? The slow cooking, simmering process at a low temperature for a long period of time. That's how kind of like these ginseng teas were concocted, and most tonic herb preparations are created. You simmer them for hours and hours, and generally speaking, the longer you simmer, the more potent it becomes. Now, that's it for sliced roots and things. When it comes to raw powders, okay, they're pulverized, and so there's a lot more surface area, so it extracts a lot easier in a powder than if you had sliced roots. You don't need to like do a long simmer, but I would say if you do like boil or simmer, the freaking powdered root for like 20 to 40 minutes or whatever, then that is absolutely going to provide you all the extraction benefits that you could possibly get out of a raw powdered ginseng. But here's what I do is like the easiest, most economical and efficient way is, every morning when I wake up, here's what I do. So I got my coffee maker, automatically makes my coffee or whatever, like, brews it as soon as I wake up, it's there. And I take the piping hot coffee and I put it in a glass blender. My glass blender is like 48 ounces or something. And according to my coffee brewer, like I don't know what you necessarily signify as a cup or whatever. There's numbers on my damn coffee brewer. So I usually brew about to the 10 mark, right? To the 10 number on my damn coffee thing. So I guess that's 10 cups of fucking coffee, right? Whatever. So I pour like maybe 32 ounces of fucking piping hot coffee in my blender, because the more liquid you have, the hotter it's going to stay during the blending process, and the more extraction you're going to get when you blend it. So yeah, I poured a ton of fucking piping hot coffee in my glass blender. Then I take I take 2 teaspoons. This is my dose. This is not your dose. This is my dose. I take 2 teaspoons of the American ginseng powder and put it in there, and then about a half a teaspoon of Panax red ginseng. But lately I've been experimenting with higher doses. And so I put the raw powder in the blender with the hot coffee, and I blend it. And I try to blend it for like first on low for like 20 seconds or whatever, and then on high for maybe 30, 40 seconds. Okay? And then I bring it back down to a slow blend for like 20 to 40 seconds again for like a total of 2 minutes of blending time or whatever, right? And the thing is, the saponins and all the molecules will foam up. This is how you know that you've extracted the active ingredients, right? It'll foam up like crazy, and you just blend the fuck out of it. But the key is you have to have it hot coffee. It has to be hot as fuck. And just do a regular drip coffee maker hotness. God damn it. And then make sure that there's enough, right? The more coffee you put in there, the better, because the higher the larger the volume of liquid, the more surface area of the herb is going to come in contact with the liquid, and the more full and thorough the extraction process will probably be. So that's kind of like the process, right? And of course, for me, I throw in other things, right? Like cordyceps, rhodiola, Shilajit, and a couple other things I've been experimenting with recently. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. Now, so that's the process. That's what I recommend, right? Because most people do drink some sort of hot beverage in the morning, and if you don't, you need to buy an extract of ginseng instead. Because this is, don't just put raw fucking powder in a capsule. Don't take a capsule of raw powder. If you do that, you won't feel shit. You'll feel a placebo effect for sure, but you're not going to feel the real shit, right? You're not going to feel that crazy boost that ginseng is supposed to give you. Yeah, and don't just put raw powder in cold liquid. It ain't shit. People mixing up a pre-workout or whatever, it ain't gonna work. You gotta fucking brew that fucking motherfucker. Steep it like a tea, whatever the fuck, right? and blend it. Don't just stir it with a spoon, okay? I've had multiple people that I've been working with, who will just take the raw powder, put it in their coffee cup, and then they'll fucking stir it up. And there's a bunch of like ginseng powder left at the bottom of their coffee, you know? And they're like, oh, I feel it though. I feel it. I'm like, probably not, bro. You probably need to fucking blend it like I've been telling you for several weeks. And then they finally blend it. And guess what? They're like, oh shit, like I feel a ginseng. I'm so like, it's like a 9-day difference. I'm like, yeah, do the way I tell you, please. You know what I mean? Anyway, just the fact that people are trying this stuff is actually good enough on its own. All right, so then dosages, right? Dosages. So for American ginseng, you can get away with a lot more, right? I started off with a half a teaspoon of American ginseng. And that alone, with no other ginseng, just felt amazing. I felt so calm, so focused, so on point. It felt like it just was the normalizing, healthy thing that brought everything into balance, and that is just making my body healthier and recover, right? It felt like I was recovering from all whatever. Like it was just making me feel like repairing my DNA or some weird shit, right? But I'm an extreme person in all areas, so everything I do, it has to be the most extreme. I don't know, whatever. So whatever. For dosages, for most people, American ginseng, I recommend a half a teaspoon of American ginseng for most people. Okay. For Pan-Extra ginseng, I highly recommend erring on the side of less. Okay. I would say for most people, I would just start with a 1/4 of a teaspoon of the raw Pan-Extra ginseng powder. 1/4 of a teaspoon. That alone, trust me, when you add it in there and you blend it the way I'm talking about, okay? If you do it the way I'm telling you to do it, blend in a blender, use enough hot coffee, all that crap, okay? You will feel a very noticeable difference with 1/4 of a teaspoon of the raw Pan-Extra ginseng powder. Okay, most people just don't take the right kind, don't take the right dose, and they don't prepare it properly. They just like fucking try to take the raw powder in a capsule or whatever. Like, you gotta fucking blend it, you gotta brew it, you've got to extract it using some sort of hot coffee, hot water process. So anyway, yeah, 1/4 of a teaspoon of Pan-Extra ginseng, half a teaspoon of American ginseng. And then over time, you can bump up the dosages, right? I started taking 1 whole teaspoon of American ginseng and 1/4 of a teaspoon of Pan-X. So then I bumped the Pan-X up to a half a teaspoon. And then I bumped the American ginseng up to 2 teaspoons a day, right? And I experimented with American ginseng at night. And it made my sleep better, actually. It made me feel way calmer, and it's pretty cool. But, yeah, so start at the low end, all right? And then you can work your way up slowly. All right, so one more thing I'm going to say on this is extracts. Let's talk about extracts. Let me drink this fucking coffee first. This is ginseng, rhodiola. I'm going to talk about what's in here in a bit. Today I'm drinking Death Wish coffee. All right, so extracts. So let's say that you're the type of person that doesn't like to consume hot coffee or whatever in the morning. So extracts are basically a pharmaceutical type of standardization process for herbs, right? So basically, they take the raw herb and they determine whatever the so-called active ingredient is supposed to be, which, if you know anything about herbalism, there's something called the entourage effect, where basically there's no one, active compound. There's a ton, like hundreds of active compounds that work in synergy in these herbs. But ginsenosides have been well studied and isolated in much of the research and shown to provide a large amount of the benefits commonly associated with ginseng. And so you can find ginseng products standardized for a high amount of ginsenosides, right? And so not only are they standardized, but these the active ingredient is actually isolated and then added back to the product, to where when you take a extract product, you don't need to blend it in hot water or whatever. It's already been extracted. It's already been standardized and isolated and extracted. So you can just take the ginseng extracts raw, just straight out with the capsules, not need any complicated process like I do, right? And so I actually I take the Solgar Korean red ginseng extract, because I've heard so many people have great benefits with it, and there's like what is it, Glassdoor or whatever reviews, consumer reports, and it has third-party testing data. So I figured that would be the most legit. So I take the Solgar extract, about 3 capsules, which is a high dose, and I actually blend that in with my American ginseng in my coffee, because it also contains raw ginseng powder inside of it. So, but so for the ginseng extract, like the brands I recommend would be Solgar, or I believe Nature's Way has a pretty legit extract too, but Solgar would be the one that I would just say, hey, that's the one, right, for the Panax ginseng. For American ginseng, I looked all over and couldn't find a legit brand that gives me the same effects that the raw powder does. There is Jing Herbs, which was run by a pretty legitimate Chinese medicine doctor for a long time, and I believe he had to sell the company. But they have an American ginseng extract, and I've tried it. And it seems to make me depressed and make me want to sleep. So I wouldn't recommend that one for people just getting started. I would recommend that for people who have more experience in tonic herbalism and ginseng products. So unfortunately, I have not found an American ginseng extract that is adequate. And I don't recommend alcoholic tinctures, because their potency level compared to the dosage you need, it's just such a gray area. So that's that, right? Start with the lowest kind of recommended dose of the extract you can, and then just kind of tinker up from there. I take about 3 times the recommended dose personally. But all right, so now let's move on. I got to get ready to get out of here. So, what do I do, right? What is my current routine? Okay, so my current routine. Most of y'all have been following me for a while. I've been taking American ginseng and Panax red ginseng, right, in my morning coffee since the very beginning of, is it May? Yeah, April, May. Yeah, that's crazy. I thought it was longer than that. So May, June, July. Yeah, so for almost 4 months, I've been taking American ginseng and Panax red ginseng non-stop, okay? Almost 4 months now, and I was taking it on and off before, but I don't think I have not skipped a day of American ginseng. This is the past 4 months. Panax red ginseng, I tried kind of removing it for a while and adding it back in, but I've been mostly keeping that in, right? Pretty much almost every single day. I take 2 teaspoons of American, a half a teaspoon of Panax red ginseng if I'm using the powder, or 2 to 3 capsules of Solgar Korean red ginseng if I don't take the red Panax ginseng powder from Wisconsin LLC. Then I add about a half a teaspoon of Hyperion Herbs Cordyceps, but on days when I have like a really long, drawn out, hardcore, intense training day ahead of me, if I'm doing multiple hours of jiu-jitsu, multiple hours of lifting, that type of thing, I'll do 2 whole teaspoons of Hyperion Herbs Cordyceps. And that works wonders for increasing your aerobic capacity, especially combined with the ginseng and the other stuff I'm doing. So then on top of that, I'll do 250 milligrams of Rhodiola rosea extract from Nutricos is the one I'm using right now. And then that was actually the only thing. That was my only thing for the first 2 months or so, maybe 3 months that I was doing this ginseng thing, right? But recently, so I also have been kind of on and off taking Mucuna during this time, and just trying to see what effects it has on not just my mood and my energy and my motivation and my libido. So I notice it seems to affect my libido, but I haven't determined so much as to what extent. And also my strength gains I'm looking at, because I've always noticed I can hit PRs faster when I take Mucuna, which is interesting. But I added Shilajit back in about a week and a half ago. Shilajit, holy crap! So I've taken Shilajit here every now, on and off last year as well, right? Shilajit is amazing if you take the right dose and use the right product. So right now I'm taking a whole teaspoon of the raw Shilajit from Sun Foods. Okay, I'll get people like noobs. Okay, I'll get noobs in my damn comment section, telling me, Wolfgang, you need to be careful. You shouldn't take raw Shilajit. You should only take the Primavi purified extract or a purified resin with third-party testing, bro. Because of all the toxins and the freaking heavy metals and all this other stuff I'm scared of that I don't know for sure are even in the extract you're taking or whatever. You gotta be careful. Only take purified, patented, trademarked products. I'm 100% not scared at all. Okay? I guarantee you, like there's no escaping heavy metals and all that crap, no matter how much you try to avoid them. And Shilajit would just be naturally occurring. And a lot of the foods and the waters and maybe not if you're taking well water or something, right? But like a lot of the crap that we're consuming, no matter how pure we think it is, how organic we think it is going to there's a lot of things you're probably consuming that have way more whatever, PCPs and pollutants and whatever else, like radioactive molecules, whatever, than my damn Shilajit my raw Shilajit. And the thing is, it's never really been proven that in humans you consume raw Shilajit, it's going to kill you or some shit, or, whatever other weird thing you think is going to happen if it's never been proven in humans. It's just kind of like a hypothetical thing. Okay, so, send me some case reports that are documented in the literature in the comment section, please, if you're really going to, fuck with me that much. Wolfgang! Nah, bro. This shit's a miracle. It's great shit, and that's all there is to it. So, yeah, I think there's some things that you really should worry about and things you probably shouldn't. And I think Shilajit, the raw Shilajit, probably not that big of a deal. What was I saying? Yeah, so no, this damn raw Shilajit, I swear. I feel like I hate saying this, but all the effects you would expect from taking supplemental testosterone, I feel when I take Shilajit, and most people would say the same thing. First of all, my libido, just the kind of hormonal effects of having higher testosterone, right? Or sorry, that's a stupid statement I just said. The hormonal effects of libido, meaning the physical effects, right? I wake up with morning wood consistently now. Let's just say my erection is consistently hard leading into the nighttime, and then when I wake up, and it doesn't go down, and even after 3 or 4 times of whatever, ejaculation, it stays. It's still hard, and I'm ready to go again. So, for those who weren't expecting me to say some TMI shit, I apologize, but I'm just saying, that is not a placebo. That is not, a lot of these things like Mucuna, it's a lot of neurochemical dopamine type stuff, right? where you're just more aroused and stuff, right? But it doesn't really have that powerful effect on erection quality, and like this is profound. But Shilajit, and I'm taking a whole teaspoon. A lot of people would say, oh, that's way too much. You should only take a dab or whatever, a tiny amount. You should only take a speck of dust of Shilajit. Like, it's pretty amazing. And my lifts, my strength of my lifts, consistently hitting PRs. All right, consistently going up. I've noticed, like, I was feeling exhausted. I was feeling like overtrained, like really overreached, right? Exhausted. I was feeling depressed. I was starting to have sleep problems for a while. My strength was going down, and body was dragging pretty hard due to how hard I've been training, which are usually signs you need to take like a week of rest from the gym, because you train so hard that your testosterone goes down and your cortisol goes up, basically. But when I started taking Shilajit in the morning, suddenly my strength went up again, and my sleep quality dramatically improved. I'm gonna get into that in a second. And I was recovering almost like within 3 days. I no longer felt overtrained, and I've been training each day the same while taking it. So I'm recovering faster. My overtraining, whatever the fuck, overreaching, right? My feeling of I've been training too hard, I need to take a rest, just completely went away. Although I am actually sore every day, but still. Sleep quality dramatically improved. It's been a while since I've slept this good. And waking up with crazy erections and stuff, right? So it's allowing me to train harder. I'm making gains faster. Seems to help me recover, maybe, I guess you could say. I'm adapting my training better. Sleep is through the roof. Shit, I almost put my mouth on my mic. And erections out of nowhere that last forever. It's pretty amazing, mostly during nighttime. So mood is better, motivation's better. I feel healthier, and I just feel like it's doing something to my hormones that favor androgenic health, let's say. So let's talk about sleep from Shilajit. What I've noticed with sleep was pretty interesting. I was noticing I was falling asleep earlier, like around the time I want to, right? Falling asleep easier, faster. It's kind of like if I want to fall asleep, I just lay there, close my eyes, and then I'll fall asleep. Whereas before, I had to lay there for a while, try to get my mind right, clear my thoughts and type of shit. But now sleep is a lot easier, and I notice I sleep more consistently. I might wake up once in the middle of the night, but I stay asleep for about 6 hours straight, and then wake up feeling relaxed, but still kind of satisfied and refreshed. And here's the real thing. I haven't really had noticeable dreams in a long time, right? In a long time. Probably because when I was all through my teen years, for like a whole 10-year decade, I was on very high doses of Seroquel, which is an antipsychotic. And I was on insane amounts that would kill a horse, like 2,400 milligrams a night. So that kind of ruined my ability to have dreams and shit. Because of what it does to your neurology. But I actually had dreams 2 nights in a row that were so deep and vivid, they woke me up because they were actually pretty nightmarish. The first dream I had, my car got broke. Like, I was at my friend's house deep in a bad side of town, and we were hanging out, and then it was like 2 a.m. at nighttime. I come out of my friend's house, and apparently I had a car that had gold rims and a badass stereo system. I come out of his house at 2 a.m. in the morning, and some thugs came through and just like jacked all my car, like jacked my stereo system, jacked my rims, and my car was all fucked up. I'm like, what the fuck? Someone stole my shit. And then I like ran around the bad neighborhood looking for him. I don't know what I was gonna do, like try to find him and beat him up or whatever. And then I just gave up. And when I gave up, some crazy grudge-looking spooky chick came up out of nowhere, and she was like, I have a special message for you, Wolfgang. Like, if you ever want to, the message reads, if you ever want to see your Aunt Anita again, meet me at 1 a.m. at China Harbor and bring $10,000, some shit like that. And anyway, so that was a weird fucking dream. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then like I woke up out of the dream out of nowhere, and I was like breathing really heavy and sweating, like I had a nightmare. I was freaking out. So I haven't had a dream at all, like in a long time. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then this dream was one of those weird fucking dreams. I'm like, all right. Like at first I was like, I don't know what caused that, but now I'm like, oh, it's because I'm actually sleeping deep enough to have these dreams. And it's probably the Shilajit, right? Only thing I changed, and it would happen from Shilajit. And then the next night, I had a dream that, like, I was in my house or whatever, and I had a giant 4-story house, and I guess a debt collector, I guess came knocking on my door, and he looked like, what was that guy? Debo, right? That Debo, that guy from the damn movie, Debo or whatever, right? It's Debo. I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm talking about if you know what movie I'm talking about, right? It came to my fucking door, and I was like, yeah, what's up? Who are you? And he's like, motherfucker, who am I? Who are you? He's like, I'm the freaking debt collector, motherfucker. He's like, I'm here to fucking possess this house, bitch. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I was like, all right, let's step outside, motherfucker. Like, you want my fucking house so bad, I'll fight you for it. We like walked out of my house or whatever, and then the motherfucker ran right in my house and locked the fucking door and stole my fucking house. So I just kind of like, I don't even remember what happened after that, but I remember I guess I like called the cops, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? I tried breaking through the window. Like I didn't want the guy to steal all my shit in my house. Like, find my weird stash of weird objects that I can't, whatever. Yeah, and then I like woke up and I was like, what the like I woke up from the dream, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Where did that come from? So anyway, point I'm trying to make is I'm having some weird fucking dreams in Shilajit, but I'm digging it because I think it's a good sign. It means that it's actually increasing the quality of my sleep and stuff like that. So, woo! Yeah, weirdest fucking dreams ever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so let me know down in the comments what y'all think and whatnot, and I'll make a better video on like my routine and shit when I have time. And I'll talk to y'all later.